watch out for him.
It started to happen again. Dad! I'm in trouble. You've had some scary dreams, okay? Help!
Daddy can't help you now.
Freddy is back on Elm Street, and he's not a welcome visitor. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, rated R.
They obviously had to have a character called Freddy who comes into your dreams and teenagers' dreams and murders them. Didn't necessarily have to be Robert Englund. And that was it. And they were hoping that they could make another one and they could make some more money. And maybe if it made, as much money or close to as much money as the first one, because usually the sequels didn't make as much money.
In 1931, the world was horrified by the motion picture Frankenstein. In 1935, horror turned to terror with The Bride of Frankenstein. In 1990, the makers of Basket Case and Brain Damage bring you...
Want a date?
Frankenhooker.
I didn't almost get to do that. Frank was still not talking to me. They shot half the movie.
Oh, he was pissed
And
with you.
I was not on it. Gabe was. There was something. Edgar finally called me. Like, they literally were 3/4 of the way done with the shoot before I finally got the call to go to New York. They'd blown up the hookers already. They'd done like everything.
You look at the sets, you look at the costumes. It looks very expensive. You are a big part of that film, behind the scenes and in front of the camera.
I wrote the screenplay. I took Chaucer's Canterbury Tales and made a screenplay adaptation. We had costumes from Universal Studios. I went to Universal Studios, to their sound stages, saw their huge warehouses of costumes, and picked out costumes for the show. They knew exactly what we were doing. That was fine. They said, your money still spends. We don't care what kind of production it is. The production itself cost almost $500,000.
Russ Myers, Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens. Movie maker Russ Meyer, the rural Fellini, serves up a simple, homey tale of Olympian togetherness, faith-healing, bra-busting humor, jogging, and hulking Herculean masculinity. It's a motion picture born to entertainment, vibrant, spellbinding, and so hilariously funny. Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens.
Interesting, because we've been trying to get these films for a long time, and I assume that other labels had as well. And the trust just weren't ready yet to partner with somebody. The people at the trust, they're a little gun shy over who they do this with, because they want it to be done in the way that Russ would have done it. And so we had to kind of make a case for why we're the right company for that. And initially they were like, well, you're a horror movie company. But of course, then we could go back to what our origins were. And we did a whole big, long thing about, we've got everything from, internationally renowned erotic films to Oscar winners films to, all this kind of thing. So we were able to really make a case for it.
Benet's Bloody Bits.
Welcome to Triple B. My name is Jason Benet. It's January 1st. It's subscriber week at Vinegar Syndrome. I already have their website open. I'm going to go ahead and dive in with what was announced for today. We have a VSU. So it's a 4K of Tank Girl, which has been released by a few other companies, I believe. But this is Vinegar Syndrome's version. And if this ever wants to show up, I will be able to look at the artwork. There we go. There's the front, the back, some of the interior artwork. I've never seen this movie. It was released through MGM. It's around 30 years old. I don't think I'm grabbing this one. I do like the director, Rachel Talalay. She also did Ghosts in the Machine and Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, or Not So Final Nightmare. So yeah, that one, yeah, it's a little pricey. I know it's available on Tubi, so if I'm really interested in watching it, I can view it over there. It's stacked, a lot of extra features. Lori Petty, Ice-T, Naomi Watts, Malcolm McDowell, great cast, but not something I need to pick up. Now, as far as the subscription, these are the first 3 titles out the gate. We have Troma, Terror Firmer. I knew this one was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. This is one of the better in-house productions from Troma. Lloyd Kaufman, Michael Hers. Kind of keeping with the previous Troma artwork. I will admit I've never seen it, but I know it's gonzo, gory, 90s Troma. So they are doing quite a bit of Troma films going back to last year with Sergeant Kabukiman, Tromeo and Juliet. So we have Terror Firmer and more Dario Argento. It looks like Vinegar Syndrome grabbed all those Scorpion releasing Blu-rays and turned them into 4K. There was a Card Player, Sleepless, Stendhal Syndrome, and this looks to be the last of the bunch. The Phantom of the Opera, with his daughter Asia Argento and the late Julian Sands. This is probably my least favorite of Argento's films. Haven't seen it in decades. I'll watch it again and give it another shot. Just remember it being really dull and slow. And Aja is eye candy here. But I don't know if my opinion on it's going to change, but I will watch it and not sell it. I know a lot of people sell their movies. I used to do that all the time. Whether I liked them or not, sometimes I would just trade them in, and those days are long past. So we have Phantom of the Opera 4K UHD. And the last release of the month is Made in Hong Kong Volume 2. I enjoyed Volume 1, which was more horror-centric. This looks to be action. Really good artwork, as usual. So the titles are New York, Chinatown, Best of the Best, Final Justice. I'm not the biggest action fan when it comes to buying films, but I usually, when they're part of the subscription, watch them and go, oh, I'm glad that these were part of the subscription, and that's kind of the fun of it. You get movies that you've seen and you like that are favorites, and sometimes you films that you enjoy. So that's the 3 new release month. Well, VSU of Tank Girl, then for the subscription, you get Terror Firmer, Phantom of the Opera, Made in Hong Kong Volume 2. Let's look at, if we jump into the subscriber week where you could subscribe for 2026, this gives a breakdown of what's coming. Not every title, but a plot crunch, and they'll give away some of the titles. So I'm just going to go right down to the bottom. We have February, Demon Warp, 4K UHD Blu-ray debut, 80s Italian horror, early 90s erotic murder thriller. Now, I believe Demon Warp was with Lionsgate. Don't know, I don't work for these companies. I couldn't be 100%. But if it was Lionsgate, that means they have a deal with them. So the early 90s erotic murder thriller, uncensored 4K, it could be a movie like Night Eyes from Yog Mundra, who also directed Open House and Hack-A-Lantern. I can see this being a deal where they're not going to be erotic thriller heavy, but maybe Vinegar Syndrome starts to have some of those films and they start dipping them into the release schedule. So that's cool. Demon Warp has Michelle Bauer. Never been on 4K or Blu-ray. It's been like on a wish list for many people. March, you got Forgotten Gialli. One of them is Bruno Mattei, Sleaze Jim. 2 other trashy treats. Ultra gory 80s Italian horror shocker on 4K. Gory 90s slasher, so out the gate, really strong. Lady in White, which I knew was coming, but it's April 4K with 3 different versions. 80s drive-in horror, properly restored for the first time in 4K. And then a classy and gory, oxymoron, gory 80s Italian horror. May, which is the halfway to Black Friday sale. We have a Giallo in 4K, a studio-made mystery slasher 4K, 2 hard-hitting horror surprises. June is partner label month. July, we have an all-horror made in Hong Kong. A set, 80s or 90s horror 4K. The 80s slasher 4K. August, crazy 80s Italian horror. We have a uncensored disc debut of a jaw-dropping Hong Kong thriller, a 4K UHD debut of an unnerving 80s horror sci-fi. September, classic early 80s horror on UHD, a UHD of a weird and I think it's supposed to say gory, it says glory, 80s Italian horror. We have also an eerie 70s Hong Kong horror. October, Halloween. We have a 4K debut of a 90s horror by a major director. We have early Hammer rarity. 4K debut of 80s horror. Shaw Scares, I think that's number 2. November, 4K UH debuts of 2 bloody classics by genre icons, along with 2 equally insane surprise releases. December's partner label month. So I already subscribed. That's the first thing you do. And also, starting this year, all the subscribers are going to get this card. You can see it almost looks like a credit card. That is for subscribers, has your name on it. You present this card to receive exclusive discounts at Vinegar Syndrome's retail locations and at conventions. Fortunately, none of their stores are close to me, and I don't do conventions, but I'll hold on to the card just in case something happens. So that's the breakdown of what's coming this year. Labels. The only one that I caught my eye and ordered, it's one I meant to get on DVD years ago. I believe it was through Code Red, which is Ghost Keeper. This one's from Canadian International Pictures. Awesome artwork. Reminds me of Ghost Story, that Peter Straub novel turned into a film. So Ghost Keeper. Yeah, snowbound, slasher, horror. I'm down. Like James Brown. Yeah, Ghost Keeper, already ordered. Another one that was kind of intriguing, but I didn't pull the trigger. It's Shudder, The Dead Thing. Let's check that one out. Kind of newer film. Looks okay. Kind of like a head trip film, but not enough for a blind buy for me. And so this whole week, they're going to drop new releases. Tomorrow, we have something from a new label or a new sub-label called Iconoscope. Then on January 3rd, we have one from Cinemagraph. January 4th, one from the Pink Line. January 5th, another Iconoscope. January 6th, a VSL. January 7th, a Cinemagraph. So what do I think? It's a little bit of a continuation of 2025, at least at the beginning in January with the Troma, with more Dario Argento. I think they've run dry on the Argento ones. I don't think we're going to get something like Inferno in 4K. I think that's trapped in, legal hell or whatever. It's just not something. I mean, maybe Severin does it. Maybe down the line, Vinegar Syndrome does it. But yeah, I think it's exciting. I see a lot of slashers on the agenda. I see more Hong Kong, more foreign horror, and that's cool. And the one thing that caught my eye the most was Demon Warp. That I believe is a Lionsgate film. They, as far as I know, they still own the rights to it. There's also like an erotic thriller coming in February along with Demon Warp. That very well could be a deal with Lionsgate, and that opens up movies like Metamorphosis and anything that's Lionsgate. It's Trimark, Vidmark, all these kind of sub companies that are all underneath the Lionsgate umbrella. So those sound very exciting to me. I subscribed, have been doing it. I want to say this is my 6th year. There's some new titles at the Mezzanine site, something new from the Mitchell Brothers group with Marilyn Chambers. I won't jump over that page in case I get in trouble, but those were really cool. But the new sub-label that starts tomorrow is Iconoscope. And that's a television line. Everything's going to be a miniseries, a series, or television films. Those don't tend to sell well. Vinegar Syndrome's done them in the past. A lot of people thought they abandoned them. It looks like they haven't. They've dedicated a whole sub line just for those. So you start to think about, man, the movies they could put out, Trilogy of Terror and all these different 70s and 80s particular television movies. There were just so many of them. So I'm going to keep my eye on what gets announced by those the rest of the week. But what did you guys think of the new, subscriber week 2026? We got a breakdown of what's coming, at least vaguely. They revealed a few things like Lady in White and Demon War. But yeah, to me, this is the coolest time of the year. You kind of start anew. I know a lot of people, I've already seen it online. I'm not going to sub. Vinegar Syndrome sucks. They subbed. Once the juices get flowing, they see what titles are coming. And the price is right. You just have to learn how to save for these things. If you're a current subscriber, you'll get a $100 coupon via email. That knocks off some of the price. Christmas recommendation, ask for gift cards for Vinegar Syndrome. I had about $275, knocked it down. So after all was said and done with taxes, it was like right around $800. But that's going to get me every mainline film this year, discounts on partner labels, all the sub labels, everything over at Mezzanine. And that's cool. Totally worth it. Just got to have to save up for it and bank it so it doesn't hurt your checkbook too much. But thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year. Stay scared and talk to you soon.